everyone, it's Maki here. I'm so excited about Gundam Seed Freedom on 2. Every day new discussions are born, and as a fan myself, it's a delightful daily experience. Today, I thought we'd have a casual chat about elements that have been a topic of conversation in the promotional video and about the rising Freedom Gundam. Let's delve into discussions about how the movie will unfold, considering the real-world figures like the director and screenwriter. The Gundam Seed series was a project aimed at pursuing even greater popularity by combining its own unique characteristics with elements that had garnered popularity in past Gundam series. One reason for this was that before the first Seed was released, the Gundam series was experiencing a commercial decline. Director Mitsuo Fukuda also robustly responded to the desires of the company. The presence of many elements, referred to as homages, is noticeable for this reason. Mr. Fukuda is quite adept at employing such techniques. The mobile suits like Zakugao and Damin Seed Destiny, and such methodologies are also evident in the movie Seed Freedom. Moreover, elements from works other than the Gundam series are also incorporated. One element that Mr. Fukuda explicitly mentions is from Metal Armor Dratgor. This is a work by Sunrise, the company that holds the rights to the Gundam series, and a production in which Mr. Fukuda participated as a production staff member. Fukuda also utilized the techniques developed in Gundam Seed. In other Robotani, he was in charge of. A prominent example is Cross-Angel Robotani, where elements developed in the Seed series are noticeably utilized. Since Sunrise also holds the rights to this work, depending on your interpretation, it could be called a sibling to the Seed series. Thus, when analyzing the production background of the Seed series and Mr. Fukuda's methodologies, it becomes clear that the element of combining other works and his own techniques plays a crucial role. Seiki Morosawa, a lady who took charge of the central part of the Gundam Seed series story, was a pivotal figure in its creation. She was not only the wife of Mr. Fukuda, but also a scriptwriter. She was the person responsible for the scripts of both Seed and Seed Destiny. Sadly, she passed away in 2016 due to illness. Throughout her career as a scriptwriter, she devoted almost all of her life to Mr. Fukuda's works. The only exception being her participation in Episode 9 of a space opera work called Outlaw Star. All the projects where she played a central role were Mr. Fukuda's creations. The script for the movie Seed Freedom was also crafted by her. While some minor adjustments to fit the era might have been made, the bulk of it was written by her, and her name is also listed among the staff. Gundam Seed Freedom is not only a long-awaited work for us fans, but also the last piece written by Mr. Fukuda's beloved wife. It is anticipated to be a work where Mrs. Morosawa's emotions and Mr. Fukuda's techniques intertwine. Mrs. Morosawa answered in an interview during her lifetime regarding the circumstances under which she decided to take on the script for Gundam Seed. I made the decision to handle Seed after watching Kamen Rider Cougar. Cougar is said to be not a Kamen Rider by those who have a nostalgic attachment to the old Kamen Riders. However, children and fans are enjoying it without worrying about such things. If such a method can be executed in Kamen Rider, which has a long history, the same can be done in the Gundam series. I reached such a conclusion and decided to take charge of the Seed script. Kamen Rider is a popular tosetsu hero work in Japan. The feeling might be somewhat similar to Marvel heroes in the United States. It's a production loved not only by children, but by many people. Let's talk a bit about Kamen Rider Cougar, bearing in mind elements that might relate to Gundam Seed Freedom. Kamen Rider is a hero who transforms from a human. The protagonist is a kind-hearted young man who loves to travel. However, he accidentally acquires the ability to transform into Kamen Rider Cougar. He battles terrifying monsters that take people's lives. Nevertheless, the gentle-hearted protagonist feels pain in fighting. He is heartbroken by the sight of people being terrorized and losing their lives. A legend existed about Kamen Rider Cougar, the legendary warrior. When the heart of Cougar, who has continued to fight, is stained with darkness, it transforms into an entity called the Ultimate Darkness. As Kamen Rider Cougar continues to fight, he powers up. While this is a very exciting scene for hero work, it also represents the hero moving closer to a dark entity. The name of the power awakened at that moment is Rising. Have you noticed? It's an element that matches the name of the Rising Freedom Gundam. Of course, this might merely be a coincidence, unless Mr. Fukuda makes it clear in interviews after the movie is released. It's not necessarily the correct interpretation. However, I believe that the entity called Rising Freedom may derive from Rising in Kamen Rider Cougar. It's an element of the work that pushed the back of the person who wrote the story of the Seed series, and Mr. Fukuda's beloved person at that. Let's examine the content depicted in the promotional video, taking into account the elements we've discussed. There's another element that catches the eye: the portrayal of Hiro Yamato's eye power turning red. Red light often tends to be used for characters in villain-like roles. In Star Wars, for example, the Sith often wield red lightsabers. How about in Kamen Rider Cougar? Near the end of the story, Cougar transforms into a form known as Ultimate Form. This is synonymous with the power known as the Ultimate Darkness. It's an ability said to manifest when Cougar becomes engulfed in hatred. The Ultimate Form spoken of in the legend possesses jet black eyes. However, the protagonist continued to maintain a gentle heart to protect the smiles of the people. Consequently, he rewrote the legend, successfully controlling the power of the Ultimate Form. While preserving his heart at this moment, the eyes of Ultimate Cougar changed to a fiery red. What if the story of Seed Freedom was influenced by Kamen Rider Cougar? In the second promotional video, there's a scene where Kira is told stop by the surrounding characters. There's also a moment where Kira, towards whom a person who seems to be lost is reaching out, becomes blurry and seems to disappear. What if this is a depiction of Kira's heart being on the verge of being consumed by hatred? And then, in the third promotional video, Kira's eyes turn red at this point. And like in the second promotional video, Kira is not sweating. It also appears as though light is dancing around him. Let's ponder a bit about the Seed abilities towards the end. In the novel version, it is stated through the words of Mental Mail that those who possess Seed will eventually appear. The beings that harmonize people and the world are those who hold Seed. What exactly is the Seed ability depicted in the TV anime? What did Kira, Athran, and Shin do with their Seed abilities? They exhibited phenomenal combat abilities. Kira activated his ability along with his desire to protect, but if we observe the act itself, it is destruction. It does not appear to be an act of harmonizing people and the world. Here, I'll share my personal interpretation. Is the seed ability portrayed in the TV anime really the true meaning of seed? In Seed Destiny, words about planting flowers are spoken by Kira and the others. Isn't an existence that sprouts size from a seed and eventually grows into a flower, the seed? In the TV anime, the seeds are cracking and popping. This expression is entirely different from sprouting. The seed abilities depicted so far might not be the original abilities. Actually, such elements have also appeared in past Gundam series. In the Universal Century, people called nudies emerge. While they are referred to as the innovation of humanity, words like the real nudies are those who do not have to engage in war are also thrown around. Words that can interpret that ace pilots like Amaoi are not nudies in the true sense. In Gundam Age, entities similar to nudies called X-runners appear. They are people who exhibit miraculous combat abilities. Among the characters, there were also those who perceived it as a regression of humanity, a return to irrational beasts. What exactly is the seed ability that has been depicted so far? The way the color of the pupils darkly changes feels somewhat similar to the phenomenon of Kamen Rider Kugo's eyes turning black. What do you think is the meaning behind Kiro's eyes turning red? And if the Rising Freedom Gundam were to be enhanced, what form do you think it would take? Could it be the Seed Freedom Gundam? Or perhaps the Ultimate Freedom Gundam? Please feel free to share your thoughts with us. By the way, isn't the imagery and music of the start promotional video absolutely stunning? I find the moment at about 29 seconds, where the music sings with the firing sound of the rail cannon, to be incredibly beautiful. Let's meet again in the next episode of the show.